Okay, welcome students to our live session. So the focus for today's session is helping you prep for assignment 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through assignment 2, explain to you what is required of you as well, and make sure you understand the important information that's required of you. Please note that the session has been recorded for those of you that may not be able, if you have unstable connection or network, the session will be uploaded onto ICANN for your convenience as well. Right. So please, if you have any questions, as you may know, your mic has been muted. If you have any questions, please type it out in your chat box. And of course, we can discuss it once I've done explaining what is required of you. Right. So I'm just going to share my screen onto your assignment 2. You should be able to view it now. Okay, so can you guys see your FA2? Can you see your assignment on your screen? Is it reflecting? You can show me a thumbs up so I know you guys are able to see it on my side. Okay, thank you guys. Yes, so very, very important. The learning or the chapters that you need to focus on is chapter 5, 6, 7 as well, right? So you need to go over chapter 5, chapter 6, chapter 7. And the time for this assignment is 3 hours. It's due on the 12th of October. The total marks is 75, right? 75 marks. It contributes 15% towards your final mark, right? So it's very important you complete this assignment. And you know, with all your assignments, the pass mark is 50% you need to get in order to pass your assignments, right? So this assignment is compulsory. You have to complete it as well. So with the submission process like FA1, you can complete it either online, right, where you type your answers on ICANN when you open your assignment 1, or you can upload as a PDF, right? You type your answers in a Word document and you save it as a PDF and upload as a PDF file. And I told you that I would prefer you guys complete it on ICANN, right? Complete your assignment on ICANN, and it will be much easier, like how you completed assignment or FA1, right? Right, I see a student's hand is up. You can type a question on the chat box, or you can wait until we're done. It's up to you as well, okay? So like I was saying, you have two options, but I prefer you to do the first option where you submit it, where you complete it on ICANN as well. Right? Please note that even with this assignment, no emailing of your assignment is allowed. If you email your assignment, it will not be marked. And if you submit your assignment after the due date as well, which is very important to understand, that it will also not be marked, right? So no emailing of the assignment and no submitting assignments after due date. And we said the due date for this assignment is the 12th of October, right? So this assignment is more longer than your first assignment. Okay, so let's get into it. So you have MCQs, which is out of 10 marks, right? And after this, I'll explain MCQs, true and false, I'll explain short questions, so forth. But let's get into your questions itself. So you have a scenario, right? And from this scenario, it deals with branding. Okay, specifically of Nike. So here you have a scenario based on Nike's branding, I would say, and you have question that follows it, right? You have a question, and then you have options A, B, C, or D. Now, please be advised, with MCQs, you'll just state, for example, question 1, and you'll state whether it's A, B, C, or D. You do not write the entire answer out. You just state A, B, C, or D, right? So like question 1, you'll write question 1, and of course, you'll write whether it's A, B, C, or D. Same with question 2, right? Because it's all multiple choice question based on this scenario that you see here. Even in your assignment guide, it's the same thing. You'll see the scenario and you answer it accordingly to the scenario as well, okay? So question 1, 2, 3, 4, right? You'll answer, I told you just write the alphabet only. Do not write the entire statement. You only state what is the correct answer, whether it's A, B, C, or D. Just write the alphabet next to your question number, okay? And even like, for example, question 4, you can write question 4 and you'll state there whether it's A, B, C, or D, okay? Question 5, we have a different scenario. So you'll answer the MCQ based on that scenario for question 5. Same thing, question 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 as well is multiple choice question. So you're just writing the question number and whether it's A, B, C, or D. That's straightforward. Okay. With section B, question 2, right? Question 2, the first question, it says, tabulate the difference between primary and secondary data, quantitative and qualitative research. Remember, these are two separate questions. Okay, two separate questions. So you write question 11. Remember, it says tabulate. When it says tabulate, that means a table form. So you'll write primary data in your table form. What is a primary data? Same with secondary. What is the secondary data in your table? And you'll write question 12, and you'll write quantitative and qualitative. And what is quantitative research? What is qualitative research in a table form, right? For 4 marks. So remember, question 11 is 4 marks. Question 12 is 4 marks. So don't get it confused. So question 11, it's on its own. You'll tabulate primary and secondary data. And question 12, you'll also tabulate the difference between qualitative and quantitative research for 4 marks, another 4 marks, okay? And then you have question 13 as well, right? So here as well, you'll distinguish between what is a micro, market, and macro environment, right? So you'll have an answer for micro, market, and macro environment, and that's 6 marks. So 2 marks each, 2 marks for micro, explaining the micro environment, 2 marks on market, explaining what is a market environment, and 2 marks on macro, what is a macro environment, right? Because it's 6 marks. Then with question 3, you have a case study, right? Taste Holdings Group Food Division. So that is a South African-based management group. So you're going to read this case study as well and answer the question that follows, okay? So for 6 marks, question 14 says, sorry about that, discuss the 3 stages of brand loyalty. So the question says discuss, right? So you need to discuss the 3 stages. What are those 3 stages? You're going to name it and discuss each one of those 3 for 6 marks, right? So as you can see, with 3 stages, you know it's 2 marks each. That gives you a total of 6. Question 15, indicate 4 actions or strategies that an organization can use when building relationships with its customers. So here is 1 mark each. So each action or strategy you write, you'll get a mark, right? Because it's 4 marks and 4 actions or strategies as well. So 1 mark will be awarded for each action or strategy you name or explain, okay? Question 16, relationship marketing involves an expanded view of the market and implies that enterprises have to establish relationships with different markets. Discuss any 3 markets with which the management of scooters pizza can establish relationships. Use examples from the case study to support your answer. Right, so this is referring to the case study. It's for 6 marks. So you're going to discuss any 3 markets, right, within the management of Scooters Pizza. So read the case study on what it says on Scooters Pizza. Discuss 3 markets, and of course, you have to include examples from the case study in your answer, right? Question 17, name 4 levels of relationship with customers and use the Scooters Pizza example to explain the ladder of loyalty. Yeah, as well, right? What are the 4 levels of relationship with customers? It's in your study guide. All this information or answers are found in your study guide that you need to read and go over, okay? And it even tells you what learning outcome is found in question 17. If you go under learning outcome 5 or unit 5, chapter 5, right? As well. So what are the 4 levels of relationship with customers? So you're going to use the scooters now from your case study as an example to explain the ladder of loyalty, right? Question 18. Marketers have to differentiate their products and services in their selected target markets to remain competitive. Here for 5 marks, you're going to give 5 ways from the case study with Scooters Pizza differentiate itself from the competition. So you're going to go to case study back, find 5 ways in which Scooters Pizza differentiate itself, right? How is it distinguished or different from its competitors? So 5 ways, each 1 mark for each way that you state, right? Remember, please, it's not you do not write 1-word answers. You are at a higher education level, you need to write proper answers. So 5 ways, you'll explain 5 ways, right? Not 1-word answers. Okay, question 19, which is section C, right? Locate a market research report of your choice, apply the marketing research process steps to the report you have sourced, or formulate a market research report for a company following the steps in the market research process. First explain the step, then apply the company information, right? So you have the rubric here that will help you to answer and how marks are being allocated for you for this question. As you can see, it's out of 23 marks. So this rubric or criteria will help you and it gives you each stage what you're required to do and how marks will be given to you. And I advise you guys to please follow this criteria because that's how you'll be marked accordingly, right? So remember, if you're confused with this question, you're either doing one, you either locating a market research report of your choice, or you formulate a market research report for your company. But remember, in either one of these questions, either one of these topics that you choose, it's the same steps that you're going to use or stages, right? That's why the criteria, you only have 1 criteria because you're going to use the same 4 stages to write your answer. Okay, so you can use a company of your choice and you can apply the market research process, right? So like the question said, first explain the steps or explain each steps and then apply the company information. Right? Like if there's a problem, for example, let's use an example to help you, right? I know you might be confused with this question. Let's say, for example, you found in your company sales have dropped increasingly, right? It really, sales have decreased dramatically, let's say that, right? Sales have gone from January, it was at 80%. Now we in October, it's down to 20%. Okay, and that's very alarming. And now you need to find out why is this happening? Why has there been such a decrease in customers, right, for your product or services? So now you need to conduct market research to find out why there's been, a drop in sales. So you'll apply the stages. So firstly, I would do stage 1, preparing to do the research. I would write that. I will formulate the problem. I just mentioned the problem, right? You'll need to come up with your own problem. I just gave you an example. You can use that as well, where you saw there's a decrease in sales, right? From January to October, it's decreased, and it's now from 80%, it's now at 20%. That is your problem opportunity, right? But this is more of a problem. Right, I hope you guys understanding. So I have formulated a problem now. Then I'm going to do primarily, research, preliminary research. I'm going to find out, okay, why is this taking place? I'm going to develop ideas for solving the problem, okay, and formulate market research objectives. How are you going to go about doing it as well, finding out why there's been a decrease. Then stage 2, same thing, you follow each one, do the primary research. Stage 3, data preparation and analysis. And stage 4, you prepare the results. And then you explain each of these stages and then say now, okay, you have a scenario where you saw there's this decrease in sales. And then you explain how you, as a company now, you're going to solve it using a market research process, right? It's very, very simple. You first explain the market research process in the 4 stages. Then you take a scenario or a problem, right? Like I gave you one already, and you use it and explain each, of the 4 stages as using the example I've given you or your own example, right? So be creative, be innovative, your marketing students. So at this level, you need to be thinking as from a marketing or a marketer's point of view as well. Okay, so like I said, I upload this recording on iCan for you. Your assignment is longer than FA1 because it requires you to explain a lot of questions in detail as well. Um, so you have true or false questions, sorry, you have multiple choice questions, you have case study questions, and also a question like an essay question. The last question is regarded as an essay question. And if it's regarded as an essay question, for this case, no, you don't have to write an intro, body, or conclusion. You just do what the question is asking you. So for the last question, like I said, please choose either one, but it's the same thing. You'll still have to use the marketing research process for either one that you choose as well. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. If you guys have any questions, you can type it at the chat box that's available to you, and we can address questions that you might have.